You are now listening to The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kahlil on the One Podcast Network. Let's get it.
From NJ to BK World is The Box Out here on the One Podcast Network, a special Friday night edition, Friday Night Lights of The Box Out. My name is Kahlil Thomas. Joining me in a few minutes will be Jason Kahlil from Brooklyn, New York. And I have what Bruce have. Apparently, I've been coughing a lot, so I kind of got what Bruce has on his show, Armchair, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. here. So if I'm coughing, I apologize, because apparently I caught what Bruce got from Florida. Whatever. But our opening to tonight, there's a lot to get to. Like, we couldn't do the show yet last night. Now, you normally do a show Thursday, or we do like Sundays, but, our schedules conflict, myself and Jason, so we're doing tonight. And I think we hit a sweet spot doing it tonight. So let's start with Giannis. There's been the conversation about Giannis possibly wanting to leave Milwaukee, possibly wanting to move on. The Knicks was one of those teams that were in that contention to get Giannis, and nothing came of it, right? They talked, the Knicks, the Bucks, they talked over the summer, nothing happened, and Giannis stayed with the Bucks. And I think the report was, hey, he's going to give it the first 25 games to see where everything falls. They stretched the contract with Dame Lillard. Let's see what happens. Let's see what we can do with no money, no draft picks. But hey, we got you, Giannis. Now, 5-16, Giannis is like, I'm good. I think it's time to go. I think we're done here. So the report came from Shams Charania on ESPN. I'm going to play that in a second, about the situation kind of being critical right now in Milwaukee with Giannis. So here's Shams on the drama in Milwaukee.
Malika, sources tell me that Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent Alex Saratas have started open conversations that are active right now with the Milwaukee Bucks about the realities of whether his future is best staying in Milwaukee or the realities of moving on elsewhere. And my understanding is a resolution to this and whether this could lead to a trade request is expected in the coming weeks. So there's a timeline there. As you said, 9-13 overall. They just lost a 16-point lead to the Washington Wizards on Monday. And I'm told Giannis Antetokounmpo has been frustrated over the recent losing, but so have John Horst, the general manager, Doc Rivers, the head coach. There's been a lot of frustration within that Bucks organization over the losing, and also a sense of tension around the locker room about what this means for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I had one source even tell me and describe the situation as the writing on the wall for what's to come with Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was sold potentially on a championship vision by John Horst and Doc Rivers, returned, recommitted to this team. But this is a situation where this Bucks organization could be faced with serious consequences depending on how the season continues to play out.
Okay, so the writing is on the wall here for how this could go if the Milwaukee...
All right, so that was Shams Charania, ESPN NBA insider. Listen, going into the season, you almost had to assume that the Bucks were not going to be competitive. Like, we had to kind of realize that. I think Giannis knew that. Giannis seems like a very loyal person and a very loyal player. And he's been in Milwaukee his whole career. He won his championship in Milwaukee. He didn't leave. He didn't start a super team. He said, I'm going to win it here. And that meant something to him, winning the championship in Milwaukee. And, you look at the Milwaukee championship team, it was Giannis, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez, Drew Holiday. It was a really good team that they put together. Now, the question became, and becomes now, did Milwaukee blow their load for that championship? Because, Drew Holiday left. They traded Chris Middleton. Brook Lopez obviously was going to leave. The team got old. The team got beat up. Giannis is getting hurt. Giannis is out right now with a calf injury. Could be kind of fugazi, but whatever. did they kind of push all the chips in front of the table and say, we're going all in, let's win? And then they win. And now they're in a situation where they probably should start thinking about rebuild. You can't do that with a superstar on your team and say that word to the superstar, say, hey, we're going to rebuild, and we want you part of the rebuild. Because you think about it, a rebuild in any pro sport, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, we're talking at least 3 to 4 years of kind of breaking down, building up. Giannis is, and to think of it now, Giannis is kind of getting into his prime now. Giannis is playing his best basketball of his career right now. Right? We've seen Giannis at his best, and I think this is better than what we've seen. So for Giannis, yeah, loyalty means something. It does. But do you want to waste your years in Milwaukee just waiting for the right combination of draft picks, the right combination of free agents, and just hope that everything goes correctly? I think he realized, like, yeah, loyalty is big for me, but I want to win another championship. One's great. Two's even better. So I think that's where he's coming from. I think when they stretched Dame Lillard and said, we're just going to pay you, just leave. I think that was them saying to themselves, we're done. And that was them telling Giannis, if you want to ride with us, cool. If you don't, we understand, we'll find you a deal. Now, reports have that the only team he wants to go to is the Knicks, which is very interesting to, of course, me and my co-host, Jason Kortner. Jay, what's going on, bro?
Not much. How you feeling on this Friday night?
Apparently, I got whatever Bruce got. I've been coughing for like 2 days. Bruce been coughing for like a month, and I'm coughing now. And I'm like,
something's going around. Something's going around.
Just got me from Florida. Just got me. I don't know what the hell.
Mm-hmm.
So, started out, Giannis, that's the big news. He wants out, reportedly, because Giannis is not that dude that's going to go out here and, talk shit.
Right.
What is your whole thought on the entire situation? I said Milwaukee pushed their chips in front of the table, went all in, won the title, and went, now what? Do you agree?
I agree. They kind of did the 2019 Raptors. Like, they got their title. They were content. Only difference is Giannis was content in being, a perimeter all-star out there and thought players would want to go to him, but that isn't the case. And he wants out, but he doesn't kind of want to say it. But now he's kind of speaking it. And I think he's putting them in a awkward position because all I keep hearing is like, oh, Houston got draft picks. OKC has a plethora of draft picks. But at the end of the day, does Milwaukee really want the 31st pick or the 29th pick in a draft that's only like 15 players deep?
Yeah, and you look at their roster right now, and obviously they stretched Dame Lillard. You have Giannis. They picked up Miles Turner, which I think that was kind of their last gasp. We're like,
yep,
we got to do something to show him that we're serious. So let's get Miles Turner, who's been in the trade block for the last 10 years. Let's get him in here.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, Kevin Porter, Ryan Rollins, who everybody raves about. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, who the fuck is Ryan Rollins? Where did he come from? Torian Prince, Gary Trent, Gary Harris, of course, the other brother of Giannis. He's still there, making $2.8 million a year. Cole Anthony, Jericho Sims is in Milwaukee. I'm like, oh shit, I remember that guy. Like, you look at this roster and you gotta think, has Giannis, like, what am I doing here? Like, what am I doing here, and what are you doing to make me want to stay here?
Yeah, I couldn't believe they said it. He hasn't made out the first round in 4 years, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. So if he's a top 5 player, that's unacceptable. And I think management did a horrible job constructing this team. And we're not even going to talk about Doc Rivers, who's well past his prime as an elite coach, if you want to ever call him that.
I mean, the biggest coaching con man in NBA history by far is Doc Rivers. Obviously the focus now shifts to the Knicks. Because apparently the Knicks and the Bucks were reportedly in like this exclusive negotiating window over summer. Nothing came out of it. And now we're back here again. According to Bill Simmons on his pod, there's no way this can happen because the Knicks kind of blew their wad in getting Mikal Bridges and trading all their draft picks. Is there a way a deal could happen even without the draft capital that Milwaukee would probably need to make this deal happen?
I think if you're on the side of well, Milwaukee doesn't have their draft picks till 2031, and the East is the East, and you're not going to bottom out with that roster, so you're probably going to be a play-in team per se. Mm-hmm. So at that point, do you just like ride the wave and just like try to better the roster a little bit, get yourself a couple of, I would say, wing stops? If I'm the Knicks, I'm not even trying to offer Cat because I think Cat and Turner cannot play together, so I don't think that's going to be something they probably going to want. I would offer them Bridges and OG, and maybe a swap, a draft pick swap here and there, but that's it. I wouldn't, and I think that might be enough. I don't think that OKC route, the Houston route. I think Miami could put together a good package. I think Atlanta could put together a good package, but I kind of like
San Antonio. I think
San Antonio
is a dark horse because San Antonio has a lot of young players. They have a Stephen Castle, and they have. My brain can't wrap around having Giannis and Wemby on the same team.
Whew, that's scary.
I can't fathom that happening.
I don't know if the league is ready for that. I don't know if the league is ready for that. But you're right. I can see that as well. But then does he want to go out west? Does he now kind of want to do the LeBron route and stay east and increase his chances of getting to a title where you only got to go through one Western Conference foe? So I don't know. That's all how you want to play it.
In the chat, Sammy, what's going on, bro? Get a third team to take Cat.
Who wants Cat?
Well, that's the other problem. I think this will have to be one of those 3-team trades. I feel like there have to be someone else get involved to kind of like increase the pot a little bit. ESPN, of course, because they always do this shit. Mm-hmm. Obviously went ahead and said, here's 5 trade possibilities. So here's what they got for the Knicks. So the Knicks get Giannis and Jericho Sims, which I'm like, what? The Bucks get Cat. Diadet, the guy we drafted last year from France. Mm-hmm. Tyler Kolek. Our pick that we got from the Wizards, which is first round pick, was top 8 protected. Mm-hmm. And then 3 pick swaps in 28, 30, and 32. And so right there, the money kind of balances out with Cat.
If you could swap out Jericho for Kyle, I'm cool with that.
Well, I think the thing is you would have to kind of include Kyle Kuzma in this deal. I think the idea was like, if you take Giannis, we're starting over. So we need to dump this money. So you would have to take Kyle Kuzma. You would have to take, I had their salary cap. You would have to take Kuzma at 22 this year and 20 next year. Obviously take Giannis. And they're saying you might have to take a Kevin Porter. You might have to take I'm looking now. Obviously, Turner would be part of that rebuild because they need something.
Yeah.
But they would have to take on more money. Do I want Kyle Kuzma? No. To get Giannis? Maybe.
Maybe.
I would take that. Just saying. Bruce, what's going on, bro? I hope you're feeling better. Here's the other trades. I was very curious about these other ones. So they started with Atlanta, like you said. Mm-hmm. Atlanta will get Giannis and Cole Anthony. Milwaukee will get Trae Young, Ricochet, a 2026 first, a 2027 first, a 2029 first, and a 2031 first, which is top 4 protected, blah, 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 blah. How's that deal?
I don't like that deal. For Milwaukee. I like it for Atlanta. I don't like it for Milwaukee.
Okay. Here's a Houston possibility. Giannis and his brother. You gotta be somewhere in here. That goes to Houston. The Bucks get Sengun, Van Vliet, and an unprotected first rounder in 2027.
I don't like that for Milwaukee. Because I feel like you want more than...
Yeah, but if you're rebuilding, if you're starting from scratch, why not get someone like a Sengun as like a centerpiece? Because Sengun is killing it right now. And I feel like his stock is higher than it's probably going to be for, like, I think he's going to be good for years. But I think right now, Sengun's stock is pretty high. So would you build around him?
You would have to build around him. But I don't know if him and Turner will be able to play together. So are you looking to get rid of Turner come the trade deadline? You'll probably get back some expiring contracts right there. So it's all how they want to do it long term. But they're definitely right. They definitely have to rebuild, and they have to do it creatively because they have no draft capital.
Next possibility, we talk about San Antonio. San Antonio gets Giannis. That's it. The Bucks get Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes, Kelly Olynyk, Jordan McLaughlin, and in the 2027, 2029, and 2032 first-round picks, unprotected.
Damn. But those picks are going to be in the 20s.
Yeah. Are the crimes going on? How you doing? And then the other one that they talked about, and which Bruce put in the chat, Giannis is going to Golden State for Pods, Kuminga, and Butler.
Butler will find a way to make sure that he doesn't pass a physical to let this trade go through.
Golden State gets Giannis and his brother. Milwaukee gets Kuminga, Buddy Hield, Draymond, a 26, a 28, a 2030, and a 2032 first-round pick.
I really hope that doesn't. I hope he doesn't go west. I really hope he doesn't go west because at one point, we're gonna be like, hey, then enough's enough with these super teams over in the West.
I mean, of all these possibilities,
I do think San Antonio is the best offer.
The San Antonio deal and what was the other? I like the Houston deal too. I have a thing with. I think Sengun is the next Jokic. And I'm putting myself out there way too early saying this shit. But I see a lot of what Jokic is in a more in-shape type center with Sengun.
Which would benefit from him staying in Houston around a Durant and those guys.
Yeah, so Durant's gonna be there forever.
Sure.
So I feel like you go to Milwaukee and you're the centerpiece. You're that guy. So not only are you gonna play with Miles Turner, who can kind of mold you and guide you a little bit, you're that guy. So it will be interesting to kind of see how that would work.
How that work out.
But the San Antonio deal, that one, because I feel like Castle's not untouchable. I think Wemby and Dylan Harper on that team are two only untouchable players on that team right now. You don't touch Harper, you don't touch Wemby. I think Castle coming Rookie of the Year. I think he's still not fully developed. I think he's still kind of learning how to play ball. I think there's something there.
I forgot they still have Fox over there too.
And now you have De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper. If Castle kind of becomes expendable, you could move him. And once again, high stock price right now, move him right now.
I don't know if the league is ready for Wemby and Giannis together.
Like I said,
either way, we get a preview. Either way, we get a preview at All-Star Weekend. But we'll see.
I mean, when the world beats the shit out of the U.S., but I'm not going to go there. Keep it pushing. Next topic. The shortest NBA farewell tour in history. Chris Paul. I woke up on, when was this, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I turned on ESPN, and I never watch Unsportsmanlike because I hate Chris Canty. Former Giant, but I still hate him. And they say something about Chris Paul being sent home. And I'm like, huh? So at this point, I'm still trying to get ready. I'm still kind of half asleep. It's 6 a.m. And then I kind of start digging into it. And the Clippers literally told Chris Paul, you need to go home. It's time to go home. The full story came out later. I got Shams here. Shams going to tell us. And then I got a clip from Gilbert Arenas' podcast because what he said was pretty on point. So this is Shams first. Come back and talk about it, and we play what Gil said.
Like, sources told me that Chris Paul and his leadership style just simply clashed with the Clippers from a management level, coaching staff level with Ty Lue, players level even. And the tipping point really came with how Chris Paul has been throughout his career. Vocal with players, with coaches, with the front office. And I'm told he increasingly became vocal about how he felt the coaching staff potentially could make decisions early in the season as this team started to struggle. And clearly, Ty Lue and Chris Paul ended up having issues because I'm told Ty Lue simply was not on speaking terms with Chris Paul for the last several weeks. And one source told me that it felt like Ty Lue felt like Chris Paul might have been stepping on toes. Whatever the case may be, Chris Paul is now out and they've sent him home. And he obviously felt like he could still play for this team and be a contributor. But the Clippers wanted to move on, and they did so overnight.
All right, so that was Shams. Here's the statement from the Clippers. Oh, it just went away. We are parted ways with Chris, and he will no longer be with the team. We will work with him on the next step of his career. Chris is a legendary Clipper who has had a historic career. I want to make one thing very clear. Now, the I is Lawrence Frank, the president of operations. No one is blaming Chris for our underperformance. I accept responsibility for the record we have right now. There are a lot of reasons why we've struggled. We're grateful for the impact Chris has made on the franchise. So,
yikes.
Chris was out here popping shit, and they just said, "You need to go home. You need to go home. It's time." How surprising were you? How surprising was this? Hearing that it won in the middle of the fucking night, which is messed up.
It's one of those situations where you're surprised, but you're not surprised all at the same time. I feel like Ty Lue wasn't there. He wasn't there when the Clippers were like, Ty Lue is not Doc Rivers.
No,
Chris, he got away with this with Doc and everywhere else he went. But Ty Lue, got to put a little respect on him. He's a good he's a great coach. And I guess between him and all the veterans you have on the team, that raucous style, especially when you're only averaging 2 points, you're playing maybe 10 minutes a game, you ain't Chris Paul. You're Clifford Paul at this point right now in your career. So you can't be popping off at the lip, talking about you're a better point guard than the head coach. You can't be doing all that stuff right now. So I see it and I understand what they had to do, but yeah, you just can't stop. Yeah, I understand what they had to do, but like you said, I don't know who's going to pick him up right now. What veteran teams are going to really need him? I feel like OKC might pick him up for, a charity case, but do they really need him?
They don't, but I feel like you could pick him up because you think about it, Chris Paul kind of started this upward trajectory of OKC. All right, when he went there for the year and they're like, oh, God, he's going to purgatory. And he kind of got them together and kind of the way he was in LA was the way he was in OKC. And it started this trend of where they are now. So I can see the OKC like, let's go. Like you helped us get to this point. You helped build this. We'll send you out the right way. You may not play a lot. We may give you 10 minutes. Calm the hell down. But I can kind of see that happen.
You wouldn't send him to Brooklyn as a punishment.
Last thing I need to see is Chris Paul on the floor with damn Igor. a lot of threes being jacked up. I will say this: I never really listened to Gilbert Arenas' podcast because I'm like,
oh no, it's good. No, it's good.
It's
been great lately, especially with Kenyon and Draymond beef. It's been good lately.
Well, that's what kind of got me like. I'm like, wait a second, because Draymond was popping shit on his. I don't listen to his, but I heard what he said, and I'm like, what is he talking about? So I went to that, and I'm like, oh, and I'm going back and forth because I do 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. I love that one, but that's the only player one I really listen to. But now I'm in guilt, although I still hate Nick Young, but that's a whole nother point I'm at. But here's what Gilbert had to say about the Chris Paul situation, and it worked for me. So I'm like, he ain't wrong. So here's Gilbert Arenas.
Ain't nothing wrong with holding your teammates accountable. Want to get the best out of guys when they going, but how you going about it though?
Don't hold me accountable if you can't do it no more.
Yeah. I was gonna get to the, and coming from the 40-year-old, motherfuckers over there like.
No, I think he abuses his power.
What I'm saying is, if you was who you were when you were younger, and you was the All-NBA player, and you was the top 5 or top 1 point guard or whatever, that was your resume.
Yeah.
You 40 years old, this your last year, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Sit down there, enjoy. Don't come in here and tell me shit.
Yeah. Exactly.
Don't tell me nothing. I don't want to hear about nothing you had going on 57 years ago.
A coke and a smile.
And that's just the way it is. If who you are as Chris Paul, we know what the demand. We don't need that right here. Right? That's not our personalities. Don't talk to us like that.
And we lose.
Chill,
We do that shit.
relax,
Yeah.
understand this your last year. Go out there, wave, do your thing, because that's what you deserve. Fighting with me every day? Nah. That's not what we're going to happen. So
He ain't wrong.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong.
Bruce sees it a different way. Bruce said CP saw BS was calling it. Yes.
Right. But you can't do that when you're Clifford, not Chris.
But wait, and then Bruce brings up Arenas' legal problems. That has nothing to do with this.
Allegedly.
That has nothing to do with the situation. We ain't talking about his legal issues.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. He was running some Fugazi poker games. We ain't talking about that. But Gilbert has a point. If Chris Paul was Chris Paul,
All right.
the way he was at OKC, they took to it. The way he was with LA the first time, they took to it. The way he's always been in New Orleans, wherever stop,
Right.
they took to it. You have a veteran team in the Clippers. You have a veteran coach with a ring.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go in there popping shit, and then you have the president of the team, like, he was probably talking shit to him too. You would never play ball. Like, you president of the team. Like, blah, 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 blah. At some point, you're like, okay, shut the fuck up. Like, you gotta go home. Because it got to the point, and Shan said it. It wasn't just Ty Lue. It wasn't just Lawrence Frank. It was players. The players were like, yo, like, just go sit down somewhere.
You know what's funny? I'm thinking in my head, what if LeBron really had went back to Cleveland and he had popped this kind of shit? How would that be interpreted by the coaching staff, by Donovan, by those guys who've been carrying the workhorses the last couple of years? It probably wouldn't go that well either. So it's one of those things where you really gotta stay in your lane.
I mean, David Black quit for that reason. He didn't do it LeBron when he came to Cleveland. He's like, I'm out. I'm going back to Israel. I'll coach out. I'll coach Tel Aviv or some shit. I'm not doing this shit. But the Clippers are in a weird spot because I swear to God, the Clippers are cursed. Like, they just can't.
I mean, the Clippers are, the Nets are like this, and the Clippers are like, no, hold our beer, we got you.
I'm like, sidebar real quick. So I was at the UConn Illinois game on Saturday, covering that game, and it was funny because I was leaving to go back to the press area and for post game press conferences. And some guy behind me was like, how long has that been in Brooklyn? And the guy was like, oh, they've been like 15 years since I left New Jersey. And then literally the guy behind was like, they were in New Jersey? I'm like, oh my God. You didn't? And I want to turn around, like, what the hell is wrong with you? But I was like, nah, I'm gonna let that ride.
Yeah.
Like, where you been? But the question becomes now, what do they do? Because the Clippers, not the Nets. Because you have this old team, and I think at this point you're looking at a play-in team. You're not looking at a top 6
play-in team. They're like 6 and 15. Are we sure they are playing team?
Best case scenario, play, because they started bad last year and kind of worked their way up, and then they got in. So I'm kind of going on last year.
Okay.
Best case scenario, play-in team. Is this the time to go, we just rebranded last year. Now we have boat theme shit, because I didn't know the Clippers were actually boat shit. Do we just say, like Milwaukee, let's start all over again?
I mean, they're going to have to. And recoup some of their assets that they're losing, because the scary thing is they're right now they could be a projected lottery team, and that pick goes to the defending champs who are 21-1 right now. So it's scary times out here, but I do think they should blow it up. I think Harden is definitely, you can move him to a contender. You could definitely. What are we gonna do about Kawhi? Are we gonna be like, we're really gonna cut ties with Kawhi and send him packing somewhere? I mean,
you mean we really have to pay Kawhi now? We don't have like a shell company to pay him from? We don't have some Fugazi no-show jobs anymore? We don't got the shit? Oh, damn, that sucks. I'm looking at their roster. So obviously Kawhi's making $50 million this year and next year. Harden's making $39 million this year, player option for $42 million next year.
Yeah.
John Collins, 1 year left of his contract, $26.5 million. Zubac making $18 million, $19 million, and $20 million the next 3 years. Bogdan, who just keeps jobs. He
Mm-hmm.
just keeps working. 16 for the next 2 years. Next year's a team option, which they'll probably decline, I would assume.
Yep.
Derek Jones is making 10 this year. Next, Brooke Lopez is making 8-7 and 9-1, also player option. Batum has a player option next year. Chris Dunn has a player option. So you could move, if you move, let's say, Bogdan, Brooke, Batum, and Dunn, and say goodbye. That's 21, 26, about $40 million in expirings, and then whatever other moves you can make. So you have wiggle room. You can't move out Harden and Kawhi. You're kind of stuck.
You're kind of stuck, yeah.
So do you kind of take that money you're gonna have next year and try to add a third? I don't want to say third piece, like it's a 3-man team, but try to find someone to fit with Harden and Kawhi, and just stay competitive in this Intuit Dome that you got.
Better question: are we going to get rid of Lawrence Frank, before we do any of this? Because he's really shitting the bed of his job. And to watch how Powell's doing in Miami right now, another reminder of incompetence in management. So I don't know if that might be the first domino to fall, or should be the first domino to fall.
Well, I've always thought, like, what made him qualified to be president of a basketball team? I always thought what made him qualified to be head coach of an NBA team in the first place when he coached the Nets, besides being like a video rat and just knowing shit. But he got that job, and kind of, did he really make the moves? Did he really go out and get Harden? Did he really go? I think it was more GM. I think it was more like the coaches. It was more like, I'm gonna play for Steve Ballmer, and he's got a whole bunch of fucking money.
Yep.
He gonna pay me. So I don't think the roster construction when they had those big splashy moves wasn't Lawrence Frank. I think it was just, I'm playing in LA, new arena, and a rich ass owner. With endless pockets.
And that's all they needed to make everyone happy.
This, and I think the way they did it, shines a light on Lawrence Frank. Because if you think about it, has anyone really talked about Lawrence Frank this whole time?
No.
Was Lawrence Frank ever part of the conversation when we're talking about Kawhi, talking about James Harden, we're talking about the team, talking about the Clippers? Lawrence Frank was kind of in the background, not really, not heard, not seen, just doing his own shit. Now the way they handle CP3, now like, oh shit, Lawrence Frank's president of the team. Oh, he sucks. The hell? This seems awful. And I think now you're gonna start seeing people talk like, okay, it's not from me.
Yep, 100%.
Their draft picks, and I had to look it up when he mentioned it. They have 2 second-round picks in this year's in 2026. They have their own in 2027, their own in 2029, and then 30, 31, 32. But they have, OKC gets OKC, Utah, Brooklyn could swap a second-round pick. Charlotte, Detroit has one. Philly has their first-round pick for 2028.
Damn.
San Antonio has a second-round pick from them. Philly has the 2 first. What was the Philly? Was that the Paul George trade?
That's probably Paul George.
Okay, so Paul George. Yeah, so them sending Paul George to Philly got Philly 2 first-round picks in 2029 when the Clippers are going to be god-awful. Like, what are we doing? I'm just trying to figure out the whole thing with second-round picks, but that's beside the point. So, if you were in charge of the Clippers, would you say, let's just kind of hold pat? Or do you say, let's start having this difficult conversation?
I think you have to do both. You're going to have to hold pat and start having the difficult conversations and towards the trade deadline and towards next year, because you really can't do much.
And CP3, are we thinking OKC?
I think it's OKC.
Okay, yeah, I think
he's going to get that Mitch Richmond treatment on the way out. Hey, no one remembers Mitch Richmond has a ring. No one remembers that. But we're going to be like, yeah, Chris Paul's, and we're not going to remember Chris Paul had a ring until we see those, if he comes back in the State Farm commercial. But yeah.
By the way, shout out to Eldon Campbell, who passed away this week, who I said out loud, I'm like, oh shit, Eldon Campbell died. And someone I work with was like, who? I'm like, he's Eldon Campbell, number 41 Laker. Yo, Eldon Campbell. So Shout out to Elvin. And someone else passed away too. Was it last week?
I can't remember.
Yeah, someone else
But
passed away.
I definitely heard the Elvin Gavin story, and I never heard that before. He had a heart attack and drowned.
Drowned, yeah. But I feel like someone else. I want to say Rodney Rogers or something like that. I'm probably wrong completely, but there was someone else who passed away recently too. I got to come back to that. And an update to WNBA, they agreed to a 45-day extension on negotiations.
Everybody enjoy the holidays. We'll get back we'll pick this up in January.
Everybody at Thanksgiving, like Rodney. Thank you, Bruce. Rodney Rogers. That's who passed away. I couldn't think.
Yes.
He was actually paralyzed, and I didn't know he was paralyzed. I didn't know he had an accident.
I don't know either.
So yeah, Rodney Rogers. Thanks, Bruce. I couldn't remember. I was thinking Wayman Tisdale because I just saw his documentary.
That was tough. That was a tough one.
Yeah. So they're still negotiating WNBA. We don't have an agreement. There's supposed to be an expansion draft at some point. We're still waiting on that. Now the sticking point is not just revenue sharing, is not just salary. It is now team housing. Now we're in the other part of the issue where the teams pay for housing for the players during the season.
Okay.
The problem is it's not like I don't want to say a set amount, but it's not enough, especially in markets like New York, San Francisco, Dallas. So the players like, can we get a little more? Because we're kind of coming out of our pocket regarding to housing, furnishing, stuff like that. And the league is saying, no, this is what we got. So now we're at this third sticking point of negotiations. I feel like there's a lot of sticking points remaining, and I think an extra 45 days would help.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure in 45 days you can get through all of these issues and everybody's going to be happy with it.
Oh, they need a couple of more extensions for folks to even attempt to be happy. But yeah, it's definitely it sounds like they're still miles apart. And someone who lives in Brooklyn who knows over there by Barclays is very, very high end real estate. I kind of agree with them a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird because, there's an article at ESPN about it and how they all get 1-bedroom apartments. Unless you have kids and then you have a 2-bedroom. But like, obviously Unrivaled is different because it's not a long season. So Unrivaled picks up the bill. I think Athletes Unlimited picks up their bill. Do you foresee a situation where, not now, I think now is not the time, the WNBA is like, you know what, we want to have a longer season. We want training camp to start earlier. That's part of the other proposal they put out. We'll eat the housing, and we'll just figure something out for you guys in those areas. Do you think that could happen down the line, or do you think that's a no-go?
That could happen, but I don't think it'll probably be in this collective bargaining. I think that might be in the next one.
Yeah, I think this one's the money one.
Okay.
I think this one's like, we want the bigger salary and we want a bigger piece of revenue sharing. I think if they're bringing up housing now, I feel like you're doing too much, right? I feel like in negotiations, you have to kind of pick and choose your fights. You can't have 8 fights going on and hope that you get a knockout for every fight.
Because I think that's the strategy. I think that's the strategy they're going for, which is not a sound strategy, like you said.
And I think the idea too is public sentiment's on their side, except Bruce, because Bruce is not on their side right now. I do think the majority, I think people are on their side, but they also don't want to appear to be greedy about it either.
You know what? I hate to say this, but it stems from college and the mismanagement of college of women's sports there, because we could easily say the last 3 tournaments, the women's tournaments have been more compelling, better play, more drama.
Yeah. And
for some reason, it doesn't translate just yet in the WNBA, only for a selective few. So I think it's one of those, that, not saying entitlement, but it's like the carryover isn't there as it is in college football to the NFL.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like you want that excitement to carry over, but only certain markets got it.
Exactly.
So Indiana's got it. When the Liberty are good, they got it.
Right.
I think Seattle's always got it. I think
Seattle's always have it. Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle has a new professional women's hockey team, and they got 18,000 people in that arena. So I think you could put professional pillow fighting in Seattle, and they'll sell the place out.
Also, we also go back to Connecticut. Like, if they ever get that angle situated properly between if we're going to Boston or if we're going to build something new somewhere else, that's a good fan base.
Yeah, this has been kind of bugging me because I'm not sure if it would work in Hartford. I think they have to go to Boston.
I think they have to go to Boston too.
City. I think, and as someone who loved the Hartford Whalers growing up and hate the fact that the Hartford Whalers does not exist anymore. The Hartford Whalers in the NHL played in a goddamn mall. The arena was in a fucking mall. So that's what we're talking about with Hartford, Connecticut. If you want to be big time, you have to be in a major city, right? You can't go Brooklyn, Dallas, Seattle, LA, Hartford. It doesn't work. That's why the Whalers turned into the Carolina Hurricanes. So I feel like in that situation, Boston happens. So you got Philly coming up, you got Chicago, you got Cleveland. So I think that's the thing. With that said, I think there's ways to generate that excitement that we talked about.
Yep.
But whether it's the WNBA or the NBA itself, they're not marketing correctly.
Right. I agree.
I think they've been kind of piggybacking off of college basketball, but not putting the work in themselves in marketing the WNBA and say, you know, the girl you saw play South Carolina, she plays here now. Like, no, you got to market them. Yeah, she's not there no more. She's here, so push her. Obviously, you push Caitlin, you pushed Angel Reese, you push certain players, but you can't just go like she played at TCU last year. Now she plays, for the Toronto Tempo. Like, no, actually, what's the backstory? Cool, she played there. Okay, what's her story? Where she come from? Well, we need more of that. And WNBA's dropped the ball for years.
Yep.
And unless they change that, nothing's going to change.
Couldn't agree more.
So, talking about college sports, they're talking about in the NCAA shortening the transfer window for basketball. Notification transfer windows open for 15 days following the conclusion of tournaments. So players would get 15 days instead of the 60 days that's in place now. Do you think that will limit the transfer portal, or do you think those 15 days are going to be the most chaotic 15 days in the history of sports?
Oh, it's going to be chaotic round robins, battle royals. Everyone's going to be working them phones. People's going to be moving left and right. Some people are going to, I'm here for the magical chaos.
I like chaos too, but I do enjoy having the same players at the same damn school. For 2-3 years. That's my issue with college sports. I'm like, can I just see,
I think those days are over unless you have a real deep pocket NIL money.
Well, I know this is a basketball show, but I want to get your thoughts on Lane Kiffin. How do you feel about that whole situation? This does kind of encapsulate college sports, college basketball. Lane Kiffin, if you didn't know, college football coach at Ole Miss, goes to LSU. Everyone knew he was leaving, but he kind of played off like he wasn't leaving. But now Ole Miss is in the college football playoff. And he ain't coaching with them because they're like, we don't want you to coach with us, even though he said the players want me to coach him. And the players like, no, we don't. What are your thoughts with the whole Lane Kiffin thing?
No one told LSU to fire Chip Kelly so early in the season and was ready to load the bricks truck at Lane, who I do think is deserving of a top tier school opportunity. I just thought all of this could have been resolved after the tournament.
Yeah, I think, and I don't like Lane Kiffin. I've never liked Lane.
I don't like him either.
Everyone's a villain. I think
everyone. I think you said it best. You said it best.
Brian Kelly's a piece of shit. Lane Kiffin's a piece of shit. The LSU AD who was negotiating with him is a piece of shit. The Florida State AD who was talking to Lane Kiffin, who still had a coach in place in Novell at Florida State, but was negotiating, is a piece of shit. Everyone's a heel in this situation.
Don't forget the governors. Talking about the governors. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help.
There's not one baby face. Ole Miss are heels because they had the damn Confederate Rebel as their mascot for like 100 years. They're heels too. They're heels in this situation too. There's not one baby face in the situation, and you look at college sports, and this is where it is now. I think you look at the coaches, they're heels. I think the players are looked at as heels too because there's no loyalty. We talked about Giannis before. There's no loyalty. Everyone goes for the buck, no NIL money, but the coach has been doing that for years. So in college sports, who's the baby faces?
You know who the baby faces in college sports are right now? The men's and women's college basketball coaches, because it's a whole new crop. It's a whole new crop now. So the Rick Pitino's hanging on by a thread. It's hanging on by a thread.
You know what's funny? I saw UConn the other day, and Dan Hurley's insane. But post game, he might be the most personable coach in the nation. And I'm like, why can't you be like this the whole day? Why are you just a prick during games? And then after, like, he's making jokes, he's chuckling. I'm like, what? I see you on TV, and I'm like, God, this guy stinks. And
it's the intensity of the game, I guess.
I guess, but damn, I'm like, this guy's kind of cool. I like Dan Hurley. And then I look at the replay. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, no, coach, go. You had me at the post-game press conference, coach. Like, come on, guy. But, yeah, I think I love college sports. I love college sports way more than pros, I think. I think I cover more college games than I do professional games now. I think I've completely shifted into being a college sports reporter officially.
And that's okay.
It's tough, but it's tough to kind of do it because, for us, we got Rutgers, we got Seton Hall, we got St. John's. And then you can insert, FDU here. You got Fordham in New York City.
Yeah.
At the smaller schools, you see the guys kind of get bigger and develop, but then eventually they're going to leave and go get their money.
They're going to want their money
at LSU or at North Texas or whatever the case. So that person that you got to know for 2 years and interview and talk to and see their game get better, they don't stay. And I think that's going to be the problem with college sports, especially as reporters, because that's who you talk to. That's who you get to know. And they're like, I got a scholarship and an NIL deal out in UNLV. I'm like, oh, shit, that's cool.
It's crazy if we think about how, like, when we first started the show and we really caped for the players to get paid. And now look at the landscape where, holy shit, this shit's not really governed by anybody. And it's a wild ruckus out here.
Yep, and like I said, the NCAA wanted it. The NCAA wanted
it's what they wanted
to prove that, see, this shit don't work because it's chaos. Instead of having kind of guidelines and those guardrails put in place, they just allowed us to happen. And now, like, okay, we got rules now. I'm like, well, the genie's out the bottle now. Too damn late for rules.
It's too late for rules.
Real quick before we go, I didn't watch Raw, obviously, because Netflix. And congrats to Netflix for buying Warner Brothers.
Everybody.
What are we doing? But there's been a lot of talk about Triple H saying something about Raw being an epic show, and people like, there was nothing epic about this show. Was Raw epic to you?
It was not epic, and I had a conversation at work today about Raw because we're like, they promote the first Raw of the year as a big event now, especially with, I think this is going to be the 1 year anniversary on Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's at Barclays. They already announced Braun Breaker versus CM Punk, and I was looking at prices. You would think it's a premium live event. You would think it's WrestleMania, and it's Raw. It's a Monday night in January, which I'm pretty sure it'll be going up against a college football playoff game.
Oh yeah, definitely. It'll probably be semis. I think by January 2nd. No, 2nd. When is the show?
The 5th. So that's the Monday. Monday's the 5th.
So that might actually run up against like maybe a semifinal game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and they get destroyed the ratings. There was a tweet or X or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Stranger Things has a budget of $400 million.
Yep.
And I think the first day it premiered, they got 60 million views.
Oh, I believe that. I banged it out that first day.
First day.
Mm-hmm.
They saying Raw got paid a buttload of money and has only had 180 million this entire year. And then Freddie Prinze is on his podcast. Like, yeah, ESPN's not happy with this deal. I'm like,
well, I mean, has there been a good PLE since they went to ESPN? I don't think so. WrestlePalooza was a joke. This was a joke.
War Games. I watched War Games. The
women's War Games was good.
No.
You didn't like it? You didn't like Io?
Because she does it every year. It's like Kofi crawling in his hands in a Royal Rumble. It's the same shit every year. And at some point, it's like, oh, Io's going for a trash can spot. Like, it was so thrown together, the women's match. It was the match needed the War Games needed a match, not the match needed War Games.
Right.
They didn't need to have, like, where the hell Lash Legend come from? She was thrown in there. I'm like, what? Huh? The men made more sense because that was like, there was a lot of long-term shit happening, and that was like months in the making. The women was just like, you just put a women's match in World Games because you kind of had to. But the show itself was not great. It was not. I think Cena Mysterio was kind of paint by numbers.
I think they need a draft. They need to reshuffle the rosters.
Nikki Bella getting the title shot. I'm like, I don't want her on my TV anymore. Like, I'm good. I love Steph, but she's like, she got to carry Nikki Bella. I'm like, I can't. I think a draft is necessary. They have to have a draft.
They have to reshuffle the deck.
And it won't be for 4 months until after Mania. Yeah. So, and then now the plan is, let's do Roman versus Cody 3. I'm like, that's the plan?
It has to be. It has to be.
Like, okay. Trips, you suck at this, Trips. You suck at this completely. Meanwhile, AEW, Moxie's about to get thrown up the damn Combat Club, whatever the fuck it's called now. Death Riders.
Mm-hmm.
Samoa Joe is going against Eddie Kingston, which I'm hyped about because I'm like, that's going to be Fat Man versus Fat Man just chopping the shit out of each other. I'm like, that's what's up. That's all I want to see. I'm good with that. I'm a sicko. I'm good. Let's go.
It's so crazy because I saw a picture where they show Samoa Joe with the belt, and they also showed a comparison to when his last WWE run, where he's wearing a poncho at WrestleMania.
I remember that Mania. It's like, it's raining. I'm like, wait, you're in Florida in the middle of fucking April. Like,
yep.
Your fault. Jay, as always, great show, man.
Likewise.
All right, so we'll be back on our normal day next Thursday, and we have to do it because I know I had report card night, so I was busy yelling at parents last night. And then I'm covering tennis at Prudential Center on Sunday.
Oh wow!
I'm gonna see.
I think I'm going to tennis on Monday at the Garden.
The Garden,
so,
yeah. But yeah, it's Alcaraz versus Tiafoe, so I'm kind of pumped to see Francis Tiafoe, and then Jessica Pegula, who is like the best American player right now. She'll be there too, so it'd be kind of cool to see. Cover tennis for the first time. I'm trying to
tennis is a good sport, man. Good sport. Good sport to cover. Good sport to cover.
Of course, armchairing every Wednesday here with Bruce, the other member of our cast, we're on as well. So he's on Wednesday nights. But until next Thursday, for Jason and Kahlil, thanks for watching. Peace.
Peace.
This has been The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kortner. Subscribe now for the best tri-state area basketball talk.